Mase and Betha, better known as Mase, was one of Bad Boy Records' most popular and profitable artists during the 90s. At a time when hip-hop was taking a violent turn, he was a breath of fresh air with his baby face, sensitive eyes, and his dimples. His slow and drawn-out lyrics were mostly about running through women, the high life, and his flashy jewelry. And then suddenly, it all came to a screeching halt. There are conflicting stories about the real reason he walked away when he was sitting on top of the world. But one thing we do know is that to this day, he can't stand his former boss, Diddy.
So why should we keep these same gatekeepers who have done nothing but exploited us and used our talents against us?
If you got a PhD, play a hater's degree, go on and see yourself out. You feel me? But for the rest of y'all, if you're ready to dive deep into other people's business, be sure to scoop up something to munch on at rrgsnacks.com, our online concession stand that has an assortment of beef and bacon jerky, butter toffee peanuts, and 3-wheel motion popcorn. Now, there is a lot of information to unpack with this story, and we won't be able to discuss every single thing that occurred during this time frame. However, we will do our best to break down the most crucial information in order to paint a clear picture of what all went down. So let's take a trip back to 1993, when Harlem rapper Big L founded the hip-hop group Children of the Corn, alongside fellow rappers McGruff, Mase, who rapped under the moniker Murder Mase at the time, and Bloodshed, and his cousin Killa Cam, better known as Cam'ron. They were briefly managed by Dame Dash and released several songs and mixtapes in an effort to get signed to a major label. After dropping out of college, a chance meeting in Atlanta in 1996 resulted in Mase freestyling for Sean Puff Daddy P. Diddy Brother Love Combs. Although Mase initially wanted to sign with Jermaine Dupri's So Def label, Diddy and his East Coast-based Bad Boy Records gave him an offer he couldn't refuse: a $250,000 contract with $50,000 up front. Mase signed on the dotted line, and it turned out to be one of the worst mistakes of his life. He dropped the word murder from his name and went by just Mase instead, with a $sign replacing the S. He eased up on the raw, rough, and gritty lyrics he was known for during his time with Children of the Corn and embraced a more radio-friendly sound. He instantly became Diddy's right-hand man. They were like Batman and Robin. They even wore matching tacky outfits at times. A week after getting signed, 20-year-old Mase recited the same freestyle that got him signed on the remix to 112's song Only You. His entire life changed in the blink of an eye. He went from running around the streets of Harlem to working with a bunch of the industry's top artists. He even wrote most of the material for Puff Daddy and the Family's album No Way Out. Now, with all that writing he was doing, you would think Mase was counting a never-ending stack of Benjamins. But the Notorious B.I.G. just knew Mase was broke because they signed similar shady contracts. In case you're wondering, in her memoir, which we've linked in the description box, Biggie's mom revealed that Biggie only received $25,000 when he signed with Bad Boy. So, noticing Mase's talent and potential, Biggie wanted to get some cash into Mase's hands as quickly as possible. Biggie co-owned a marketing-turned-production company called Undies Entertainment with his good friends Lance Rivera and Jacob York. The company was home to Biggie's proteges, Junior Mafia, which included Lil' Kim and Lil' Cease. So anyway, Biggie told to give Mase $30,000 to write 5 songs for Lil' Cease. Mase took $5,000 of that payment and gave it to Cam'ron and asked him to write 1 or 2 of the songs on his behalf. Cam ended up writing Lil' Cease's verses on the song Crush on You, which was later featured on Lil' Kim's 1996 solo album Hardcore. That opportunity led to Cam getting his own solo deal. As much as Mase tried to put all of his friends on, he had to focus on his own career for a while, as Diddy started noticing his potential. Mase was getting pushed to the forefront alongside Bad Boy's hip-hop trio, The Lox, and all 4 rappers appeared on the cover of The Source magazine. With tension rising between Bad Boy and Death Row in what the media would define as the East Coast versus West Coast beef, Mase was able to remain neutral. And then tragedy struck the entertainment world when Tupac lost his life on September 13, 1996, amid tension between Bad Boy and Death Row. Months later, on March 2, 1997, Mase's Children of the Corn groupmate, Bloodshed, lost his life in a car accident. He was only 21. Meanwhile, Biggie was in Los Angeles to shoot the music video for Hypnotize. He also did press for his upcoming album and finished up some songs for Diddy's new album. Biggie decided to stick around in the Golden State to attend the Soul Train Music Awards. On March 8th, Mase attended a celebrity basketball tournament in the LA area. Other entertainers in attendance included death row artists Snoop Dogg and members of the Dog Pound. According to a post our nosy selves uncovered on Facebook, Biggie was in attendance as well, but he was unable to get inside because the gymnasium was at capacity. Since Mase was on good terms with West Coast artists, someone from Death Row reportedly told him that the beef was still on following the passing of Tupac, and there was still a lot of animosity from Death Row's side. Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Dill, told Vlad TV that Mase relayed the 411 to Diddy. And according to Gene, Diddy didn't take the information seriously because he was too busy having fun in La La Land and blowing actress Sally Richardson's back out. Years later, Mase told MREC TV that he wasn't concerned about his own safety while being on the West Coast because he wasn't giving off any bad energy. However, common sense told him that something terrible was going to happen while he and other bad boy artists were out in Los Angeles. Mase said, "If you go into heated territory and leave all security home, you leave all your goons home. I just know we were in a dumb situation. There was no security." The day after Mase was warned about tension still being high, Biggie lost his life at the age of 24 after getting shot 4 times in LA. In her memoir, Biggie's mom wrote that his passing hit his so-called friends where it hurt most, in their pocketbooks. She said, "They mourned that their money train had stopped moving, not so much that they had lost a special person." With the label's shining star gone, Mase told Angie Martinez he put his pen to paper to help the label get back on top. In October 1997, he released his 4 times platinum debut album, Harlem World. His hit songs Feel So Good and Looking at Me both went #1. From there, he inked a production deal for his new group, Harlem World, which included his twin sister, Stacey Betha, and the rapper Loon, who went on to have solo success on Bad Boy. Mase linked back up with Jermaine Dupri and launched his own label called All Out Records as a division of So So Def. Mase signed his group Harlem World as the first act. This was also around the time Mase was featured on Brandy's song, Top of the World. Although Brandy has never confirmed it, the two were definitely an item. In his memoir, which we've linked for you in the description box, Mase described a woman named Brandy as one of 4 serious girlfriends he's ever had. He also had some sort of fling with Aaliyah. In an article celebrating the late singer's life, producer and DJ Mark Ronson said he used to frequent an establishment called the Cheetah Club, and Aaliyah would go there sometimes. Mark told the Fader that one time Aaliyah walked in with Mase. Mark told the publication, "I think they were on a date," and I was like, holy. Mase also mentions both Brandy and Aaliyah's names in his song, Looking at Me. In February 1999, Mase's Children of the Corn group mate, Big L, was killed at the age of 24, and Children of the Corn disbanded. It was yet another devastating loss for the young rapper. In March 1999, the group Harlem World released their debut album called The Movement. A month later, on April 1st, Mase revealed he had signed with Magic Johnson's management company. Just a few weeks after that announcement, he appeared on the Funkmaster Flex radio show to promote the release of his second album called Double Up. During the interview, Flex received a fax from Magic Johnson management stating Mase was retiring from the rap game. When Mase was questioned about the contents of the fax, he said,
"I do what make me happy. You know, a lot of people gonna say I'm crazy, I'm leaving money behind and a lot of things. But it's just, you know, how I feel in my heart. Once God puts something in your heart, you know, God talks to everybody different."
And just like that, Mase was done. Double Up did surprisingly well and peaked at #2 on the Billboard hip-hop charts. The album even went gold, and many people think he references his relationship with Brandy on the song Same. In case you forgot, the song goes a little something like this. Me. I wanted big bucks, no whammies, understand me. I show love and underhand me. Then they wonder why I want no family. What I need a hooker for, getting head from. Although he omitted her name, Brandy rhymes with family. So, yeah. The album went gold. Upon his disappearance, many people wondered what caused him to back away from the industry when his career was on fire. An insider told the New York Daily News that Mase opened his eyes after somebody close to him was cured of an illness after professing their love for Christ. It was reported that actresses Tia and Tamara Mowry also helped him make the decision to quit the music industry after they met him on the set for his song I Really Like It and had an in-depth conversation with him about God. But then came another theory. Rumors suggested Mase left the industry because he was upset that Puffy had transformed him from a hardcore MC into a smooth pretty boy, and he was uncomfortable with the transformation. And then came another rumor. This time, an anonymous executive said Mase was catching heat from rappers who thought he didn't pay his dues. The exec added that some of Mase's hardcore fans from his Children of the Corn days started calling him a sellout after he gained popularity in the suburbs. This reportedly caused Mase to retreat from the spotlight. And then came another theory, which seemed way more plausible. Cameron and Lord Jamar claimed Mase left the industry out of fear of some street stuff from his past that was chasing him.
It is a little weird how, you ever notice how a lot of ex-bad boy artists run to some sort of religion afterwards?
Cam explained during an interview that Mase thought he would be untouchable if he hid behind religion. According to Cam, Mase believed that whoever was out to get him would back off because no one wants to go after someone who has given their life to the Lord. Mase denied all the allegations and simply said God was leading him in a different direction. Although he was still under contract with Bad Boy, he told Diddy, "Can't nobody hold me down." He enrolled at Clark Atlanta University to pursue a degree in math, and he did everything he could to separate Mason the man from Mase the rapper. According to the New York Times, he gave away all of the expensive things that once made him happy, including a Range Rover, a BMW, a Mercedes convertible, and a Rolex watch. He bounced around to different churches, and wherever he went, the women would follow his sexy self. This made it hard for him to keep his newfound vow of celibacy, and he failed many times. When it got to the point that he would throw up after his intimate encounters, he knew it was time to make some drastic changes. He eventually became a pastor and married a woman named Twyla. They founded a church in Atlanta and Phoenix, and he and his wife both served as pastors. They started a family, but eventually decided to end their marriage. Looking back on his life, Mase told TBN he regretted becoming a pastor. He said, "I didn't give myself any room to grow. I went from one extreme to another extreme." Mase made a comeback with his 2004 album, Welcome Back. His parishioners weren't too happy that their pastor went back to spitting worldly lyrics either. Mase tried to sign with 50 Cent's G-Unit Records sometime around 2005. But according to 50, the deal fell through because Diddy wanted $2 million from 50 to release Mase from his Bad Boy contract, and 50 was only willing to pay $1 million. So Mase faded away for a bit, only to pop back up in 2009 to take care of some unfinished business. Diddy and his group Dirty Money visited an Atlanta radio station in 2009, and Mase pulled up on them unexpectedly. He had some papers in his possession, which he needed Diddy to sign to bring the BS to an end. The papers reportedly granted Mase a release from his Bad Boy contract, and Diddy went ahead and signed them. Mase was free at last. For a year. Yeah, the signed document only gave him a 1-year release from his contract. According to sources, Mase left Bad Boy for good in 2012, 16 years after he first signed with the label. It appeared that he and Diddy had patched things up in 2016 when Mase joined the Bad Boy Family reunion tour. But by 2020, he and Diddy were on the outs again. In a since-deleted 2020 Instagram post, Mase said Diddy paid him $20,000 for his publishing rights more than 2 decades ago. Mase attempted to purchase the publishing rights back in 2020 for $2 million, but Diddy allegedly turned him down because he had a European man that was willing to pay more for Mase's publishing rights. In the end, Mase accused Diddy of living a prosperous life, all while leaving his artists starving and broke. In 2022, Mase released some diss tracks aimed at Diddy. In Oracle 2, Standing on Bodies, Mase raps, "We ain't gang, we ain't goals, we ain't family, we ain't foes, and we definitely not bros, we ain't nothing." Diddy adamantly denied Mase's allegations during a 2022 chat with The Breakfast Club. He also called Mase a fake pastor who conned people.
There has been negative propaganda put out about me.
And then Diddy claimed he had receipts to prove that Mase owed him $3 million. In August 2022, Mase announced he signed with Death Row Records after it had been acquired by Snoop. However, we're unable to confirm if he's actually on the label's roster. As of this video, it doesn't appear that there will be any more shiny suit collaborations between Mase and Diddy. And can you really blame him?
Puff can't beat me at anything. Anything. And he knows that. And I'm up for the challenge.